Waiting for cousin Shane, as per usual. All right, let's see. Here we go. Got him in here. Cousin Jonathan, can't wait to hear him say nothing.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, sir. It is going good. It's been a little hectic, but I finally got everything situated here.
Oh, good. How fired up are you for this weekend, man? You think, what's the game of all the games, Shane? So I know you said you were feeling good, but which game are you least confident that you picked the winner in this weekend in the SEC?
Mike, is there any doubt that it's the Texas A&M Aggies? We're on the wager app. Got wagered $50 that to say Texas A&M would win outright, money line, and I can't pull the trigger, and that's
Right.
terrible. You're going against Miami.
Now, how does it change things though with Max Johnson? Because who knows? I mean, I know he's got his critics. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but hell, he's won many games in the SEC. I think if A&M's got quality quarterback plays, they can get that running game going. Hell, they could beat everybody on their schedule potentially.
Yeah, I think it's a week too late, but better late than never. Hopefully it's the spark that this team needs is my thing. They
Right.
need something. They need something to cling on, and if it hopefully it works. I don't know. It's just they made the stage bigger for Max. I think that's the dumb part. If he could have came in late against App State and maybe rallied the troops to win the game,
Mm-hmm.
and going into Miami wouldn't have been such a big deal. But now they're like, hey, we got a new quarterback, and it's stupid. You're just adding extra pressure to him.
It's basically like they did the exact opposite of what we were saying all off season. They used the 2 games to get that offense rolling going into this
Yeah.
gauntlet, but instead they're like, all right, now that the gauntlet's here, let's try to start from square zero. You know what?
Well, Jimbo kept telling us, all off season that this is a quarterback controversy. When the real thing was, he just has no idea who to put out there.
How about you, Jonathan? What
So-
game are you fired up for this weekend?
Oh, it'd have to be Miami and Texas. I'm curious to see if they improve in the offensive line. I think that's the problem as much as the quarterback plays.
Man, well, we're at least we're keeping it consistent here. What about Penn State?
Yeah.
Penn State Auburn. I mean,
Well, any chance for Franklin to lose, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same.
you're still blocked? Have you tried tweeting at him this week?
No, I'm blocked. He's got me shut down. Apparently, I know what it was. I was making fun of his home field advantage, and I shouldn't have done that because he was very active on Twitter back then. I don't know if he's still active, but I don't know if I need to, send some sort of mail out to him and maybe he can forgive me and let me back in. But to be honest with you, Mike, I that's not a battle I want to fight. I'm good being blocked. And the less I see him, the better.
Did you see a lot of Tennessee fans, Shane? They're mad at you. Did you see this?
Oh no, why are they mad?
You only have the Vols scoring 49 against Akron. What? Explain yourself.
Well, I think when this you got to remember it's the Sleepy Joe. He's faced the Tennessee Volunteers before, and he's never faced this high powered offense like he's going to see. But I don't know. It seems dumb to try to go toe to toe with them. It feels like your best bet is straight up like look at App State. Stretch the game, hold on, try to just slowly move this thing down the field and just win the time of possession.
Right.
I think that's what they got to do. And on the other side, I think Tennessee has really got to find this running game. Don't get me wrong. I love offense. I love the throw. I love Tillman. I love the 11. I think it was 11 receptions, the Hyatt last week. I think that part. I mean, who doesn't love that? But when we get into this SEC play, we have got to get better at being two-dimensional. So I think there's going to be an emphasis on running game and finding who's going to be our workhorse. and of course that's just going to keep the clock moving. So it's not that I don't think this is going to be a ball game because it's not, but I just think we got Tennessee trying to work some things out, and I think you've got I think you've got these guys just trying to slow things down.
What are the chances you think? I mean, everybody in the country is overlooking Georgia going on the road to South Carolina, and I know I already stupidly predicted South Carolina to win, but which only about 10,000 people have reminded me of this week. But I'm not even going that far. But how stunned would you be if this is a ball game here deep into the fourth quarter?
Mike, you want to talk about miracles, man? I mean, that's what it would be.
80 given Saturday, as Beamer likes to say.
I know. I'm being realistic. It's just, Georgia doesn't have any flaws right now. Maybe that's, something to work on. But, South Carolina banged up, still having trouble stopping the run, still having trouble running themselves. It's, they've got some dangerous toys over there to use. And I hope that they find, more ways to get some of these guys involved, but I don't see it. I think this is going to be a business trip for Kirby and company, and it's going to be it's just a tough game.
Let me ask you this: over under? Listen, I'm already putting it out there. The upset's going to happen. Spencer Rattler, how many touchdowns is it going to take? Over under 5.5
to win, to beat Georgia.
Yes, in a shootout.
Mike, I mean, seriously, think about that. Has anybody scored a touchdown against Georgia? You know what I'm saying? You want him to go out here and score 5? So, I mean,
I'm saying it might take 6. It might take 6.
I don't know, man. I mean, Stetson looked good when he had to get out here and play against Oregon. So, I don't know. I'd say 6. I mean, it'd have to be a high score, or I mean, honestly, what you got to do is just if you want to talk miracles, it's just. It's a simple recipe. You want to keep it as close as you can. Don't. It doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be flashy. Keep it competitive to the first half. Late third quarter, something like that. And then that's when you start bringing the game out. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start mixing things up and trying to get Marshawn Wood, more involved in the passing attack. What's his name? What's the other kid's name?
Juice Wells.
Yeah. No, my boy in the backfield.
Bell? Raheem Bell?
No, running back.
Christian Beal Smith? Lloyd? I'm going down the whole roster here.
Juju McDowell.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That's. I mean, those two guys. Like, if you want to beat Georgia, you have got to get those guys in space and ample opportunities to move the chains. But dude, again, we're talking an absolute miracle, and it was a upset. The last time South Carolina beat Georgia, it would be like twice as upsetting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how big this game's going to be.
Well, let me ask you this, Shane, because I hope I have this correctly, but I believe ESPN is delaying the kickoff 12 minutes. I never heard anything like this. I hope I got the number right. 12 minutes, so that the nation can see the atmosphere and this 2001 and all the hype. So 12 minutes. Is that?
Yeah, I would have sped it up.
Well, no. Here's what I was going to ask you. I'm trying to figure out how to pose this question to you. In 12 minutes, will Georgia? Will this even be a ball game after the next 12 minutes? Do you think it's a competitive game for that long, or do you think Georgia already runs away with it in 12 minutes?
No, I don't. I think South Carolina's scrappy, buddy. Arkansas is not a lightweight, and they tried to make that a game late in the third, but I don't think this is a blowout.
I think that's where everybody's getting this mixed up, Shane. I think they, I don't want to say they got blown out by Arkansas, but they were clearly not the better team. And then,
right.
Not Arkansas people, but I think a lot of the country says, well, by God, they couldn't hang with Arkansas. This is a garbage team. But you and I both know Arkansas top 10, they deserve to be maybe even higher. So if you lose to them on the road, that's not really a bad loss. And I'm not sitting here saying that South Carolina will for sure compete with Georgia, but you're getting them in your house. You're getting this special treatment. I don't know. I think there's a chance it's a lot more competitive ball game than we're giving it credit for.
Well, yeah, and very scripted. I'd want the damn ball first. It's going to be one of those things
Mhm.
that you want the first 12 plays dialed up and ready to roll. So I don't know. Anything can happen, but I will tell you, you're going to get South Carolina's best playing. I mean, it doesn't matter who's hitting on the field. That's the thing I like about this team is there's no quit in them.
Now let me ask you this: we haven't even hit on maybe the game of the week, Shane. Mississippi State LSU.
Uh huh.
Are we overlooking LSU just because not necessarily just because they lost week one? Maybe it's more to do with Mississippi State playing so well the first 2 weeks of the season. But I mean, I think this is a real opportunity for LSU to gain some momentum, and I think their backs really are against the wall because if you look at the schedule, they drop this game. I don't think LSU is going to a bowl game.
Yeah. No, sometimes you get caught. You get them googly eyes watching Mississippi State play, and you think, we're created this little dream that they surprise everybody and become a top 5 team in the country, and they have potential. I mean, seriously, their offense is playing better than most. Their defense is definitely top shelf right now. So. I'm really high on Mississippi State. You're really high on Mississippi State. We question LSU because I really don't think that Florida State team was a good team. I think LSU had more talent. You can't really go off last week because that was just a cupcake. So, there's still some question marks down there. But it is at Death Valley. It is at night, and that's going to be a factor as well. So. Who knows? This could turn out to be the best game on the slate here, but I'm convinced, or at least I've convinced myself that Mississippi State is one of the top teams in the SEC, and I think they show it this Saturday.
Do you think if they beat LSU, they're going to be in the top 25 this week? Or
Yeah,
in the game?
you got to, man. They should already
I think
be
so
there.
too. I agree.
No, I would say probably not because they'll say, well, hell, they beat LSU. LSU's got 2 losses. They're no good. They'll find another way to discredit and discount Mississippi State. We'll see who else maybe loses in the top 25 to fall down. But I don't know. I
Penn
think,
State.
if it's a close ball game and Mississippi State wins it,
Yeah.
I think they'll be unranked again. I really do.
The one I've gotten most shit about though is the Florida game. Here's one that I mean, you could. It's like classic trap game. You're coming off a disappointing game with Kentucky. You're sitting there looking at Tennessee next week, and it's a South Florida team that you beat the shit out of before. So it's just I don't know, man. There's something about this game. I'm. That's why I was afraid to bet on this. When you're talking about like least ones to gamble on, it just feels like Florida really has to establish a passing attack. Similar to Tennessee, they can't just let Anthony Richardson run all the time. They have really got to. They got to find some weapons down the field. They got to be able to stretch the field. So I think they've worked some stuff out, and it would not surprise me if Billy says you cannot leave the pocket during this game. Period. If worst case scenario, just throw it out of bounds. I do not want you leaving here because that's what they've got to work on. And I don't know. It feels like we may have, some dumb turnovers later. Because we're going to have some aggressive playing and maybe they're overlooking this team. That's the. I'm not saying that Florida should be on upset alert. I'm not saying that at all. But as a gambler, I just think there was too many points involved for me to take the Florida in the points.
Looks like we got Joseph in here, but his mic's muted. Let's see if he's got a question.
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Sorry, I didn't realize it was muted. Yeah, so huge Arkansas fan. Hope that you guys are able to make it up to Fayetteville in a few weeks, assuming that the Hogs are 2-0 over the next 2 games. I am with you guys 100% about Mississippi State. I think if they beat LSU this week, they will not be ranked because of exactly what you said. Although, if you were to look at the rest of the top 25, there are plenty of teams that you could look at and say you put them on a neutral field. Mississippi State would win a lot of games. I think they're probably about 14-17, probably. This is coming from an Arkansas fan. So I hope that they have, honestly, I am very high on Mississippi State. I think that their defensive coordinator will be gone next year, coaching somewhere else. in a Power 5 coaching job. I think he is absolutely terrific. He's put guys in the league over the last few years that he's been there. I'm very high on Mississippi State, and know the rest of the country's not. So I hope that they do well, and I hope that it's not at LSU. I hope that A&M loses as well. We'll see how that goes, but I'm very high on Mississippi State this year compared to the rest of the SEC West.
I think, Joseph, you might be the one Arkansas guy that I spoke to that is high on Mississippi State, because the rest of them, God, do they hate the Bulldogs.
I don't care for them much, but you got to respect. I mean, the games that we played against them in the last 2 years, we beat them in Starkville by 7 points, and then we beat them last year in the last play of the game. They had a chance to win. I think we won by 2. So I mean, like I respect them. Mike Leach is a great coach, although his system can be kind of quirky sometimes. But like their defensive coordinator, I think is as good, if not better, than like Barry Odom. To be honest, I mean that guy is incredible. He knows how to coach. He doesn't get the greatest talent in the world. He just knows how to put guys in the right positions. So, like, you got to respect good coaching because at the end of the day, that can win a lot of games in college football. So, it is what it is. But I think that they'll be pretty good this year, and that'll definitely be a tough game for Arkansas or anyone that plays Mississippi State this year. So, we'll see what happens with them.
Appreciate you, Joseph.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We got another one here. Long-time listener, T. Let's see, Adam here. Don't even know what his name is. It's a bunch of numbers and letters.
Oh, we know. He knows my mailing address.
What's up, man?
May have to unmute it there, bottom left.
He's about as talkative as Jonathan.
No, I got a question for you, Mike. So imagine.
I know he's going to be mad about something with Kentucky. Let's see. How about all these Kentucky fans, Shane? They're madder in hell. We didn't predict the Youngstown State game. Let me tell you, Kentucky people.
John, you just sit over there in your corner and you.
I know, right?
When you're top 10 in the country, we do not pick your games against FCS opponents.
No. Oh, is that what they wanted?
Yeah.
No. I mean, we told you what we want to see out there.
Well, they're mad because the graphic didn't have it on there.
No. Well, I mean,
Of all the things to be upset about.
when you're on top of the world, Mike, Kentucky, I tell you, one thing I am looking forward to, and we talked about it on the show, is this offensive line. They look god-awful first week and first half of the Florida game, to be honest with you. But the progression I saw throughout that game, that's something they got to work on this week and continue that continuity, especially when they get into more of this SEC play. But no, Kentucky has nothing to be mad at right now. They're still eating alligator meat up there.
Yeah. All right, we got him back in here. He's muted again, though. This may be his first spaces.
No, he does his own. Where you at?
I'm here, guys.
Hey, here he is.
Hey, what's up, boys? I appreciate you having me on. Yeah. So, I want a couple things. I'm here a little Friday Night Lights, watching a little high school football. But I love that you guys do this for the SEC fans, for all the predictions and games. I'm going to tell you right now, Georgia's going to beat the brakes off of South Carolina. So I'm just throwing that out there right now. The two games that I'm interested in besides that, because I'm not worried about Georgia. Georgia, they scored 30 in the first half. Kirby gets mad because they only scored 3 points in the second half. Don't execute. They're going to destroy South Carolina. But I want to see what Ole Miss does against Georgia Tech in playing a Power 5 team, has some athletes. I don't think Georgia Tech's very good. And they gave Clemson a little bit of a good game, but maybe they have a chance to at least give some push back to Ole Miss, and who knows what the quarterback's going to be from Ole Miss. But I want to see the results for that. I'm biased because I want to know what Kentucky's going to be facing. But then I also want to know Texas A&M and Miami. I mean, they're switching quarterbacks. But guys, let me ask you this. I watched the quarterback of Texas A&M for the first 2 weeks, and he's throwing the football, and I go, how is he a Division I quarterback the way he throws that football? That's not been talked about. He looks weird as hell throwing that football. Yeah. Is that just me, or is that you all seeing that too, right?
No, I saw a couple of images floating around on Twitter, and at first I thought they were doctored, but yeah, he does have quite an unusual throwing motion.
Well, I know his dad's a coach. He was
Yes.
very successful at the highest level of Texas football. It is funky as hell, but I don't want to compare him to Phillip Rivers because that's a disjustice to old Phillip. But I mean, he had a funky way of throwing the ball too. So, but I feel you. It seems unnatural when he winds up, and maybe that's part of his problem.
I mean, he throws it from the ear hole, which is, I mean, I guess that's fine if you can get it there, but God, it looks weird from a Texas A&M top 5 or 6 team in the country trying to compete for a national championship. But anyway, hey, man, guys, I love what you all do. The way you all promote SEC football from top to bottom, I don't care what program you are, you all give love and shout-outs to all these guys, so I love it. As a Kentucky fan, I enjoy your all's commentary and the banter back and forth. So anytime, I'll say this, anytime an SEC team wants to come to Lexington and go to a game, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us. I'd love to host you guys as far as fans or both you guys. Anytime you guys want to come in, I'd love to. And then I got some good Kentucky bourbon that I'd be glad to serve you. I got a little in my cup right now, but,
Hey, let me ask you something before you get off here. Do you already have mine boxed up?
Yeah, I tell you what. I got the box that I'm going to send you, but I'm going to have it all cushioned. So I want to make sure that the bottle you send me doesn't get broken. So I'm going to send you a box down, and then it'll have all kinds of bubble wrap and stuff. But I don't want this bullshit Tennessee whiskey. I want Kentucky bourbon sent to me. I can't drink that Tennessee whiskey.
We don't send none of that north. Hey, for the listeners, we have an annual bourbon bet, and you and Ollie, willing participants. In the last couple of years, it's been very bountiful down here in East Tennessee.
The last 2 out of 3, yep. The last 2 out of 3, you've gotten it. But my son has already told me that he wants to go down, and he's got some friends. So I'm planning on going to the Ole Miss game for Kentucky on the road. I'm going to the Missouri game. I don't have Tennessee on the docket yet, but since my son tells me he's going, I might have to make it down there, and that means we're going to have to tailgate together. You're going to host me up.
Hell yeah, we'll look you up, man, for sure.
Hey, Mike, Cousin Shane, I appreciate you guys. Hey, enjoy it. Hey, looking forward to some good SEC football this weekend, and go Cats.
All right, you too, buddy. See you,
Appreciate you. We got Brett in here now. Let's see.
Hey guys.
Yeah, how's it going, Brett?
All pretty good. I just wanted to say a couple things. First off, I want to talk about Jimbo Fisher. Let's run through a hypothetical here. Let's say Texas A&M goes 2-7. Just I mean, and it's really not. It's not improbable considering how they're playing. I want to ask: do you think Jimbo gets fired if they go 2-7?
Oh my God! If they go, I was wondering. No, I mean they owe him a lot of money. What's the buyout on Jimbo? Mike?
I believe it's $95 million guaranteed.
Like an NFL team.
He just got a contract extension for some reason.
Yeah, I bet admin's throwing all kinds of interns in his office, just looking for some excuse. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for a show cause, man.
Yeah, if they go 2-7, I don't think they'll fire him. I really don't, because there's just too much money. But he'll be on the hottest seat in the damn country.
You're saying 2-7, they don't fire Jimbo? You crazy?
I mean, we're hitting the panic button here. They're 1-1. They're not going to go 1-6 the next couple of games.
I know. That would be. I just that number took me off. But if we're playing hypotheticals, if they go 2-7, Jimbo's fired. He's not even making it to 7 games. I'm just telling you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
They will find a way. They will find the money. They'll do something and get out of that contract. So they may even buy him out. So he may be doing a Coach O. You tell me what door and what time I'm out of here. But I don't want to panic just yet. But I think there's no way you're losing 7 games down there in Texas A&M. I just don't see
If they lose to Miami.
We got Marlon in here. I wonder what he's got. He's got something good. As soon as we started talking Jimbo, he had to jump in here.
Sorry, listen. Tell me if Jimbo goes 0-69 in his next 69 games.
He'll have the same record as Scott Frost.
Yes, that actually is true. No, I was going to say, I don't know if 2-7 if A&M would let him even get to that 7
No.
loss.
No.
But I just also, it makes me real excited for like the fundraising opportunities for all them Yell leaders and all like the car washes and dance-a-thons they're gonna have to do to raise that buyout money. So, Mike, what would you take as a Tennessee guy tomorrow? Like if A&M got blown out and Jimbo ended up going 2-7, or if Nick Saban went 0-2 against Louisiana Monroe.
What is the question? I'm
What
sorry,
would
I
you
don't
What would you
understand.
rather see as a fan?
Oh, I'd rather Nick Saban lose.
Oh yeah,
For sure, for sure.
That's fair.
We root for Nick Saban to lose every game, and yeah, he made a bet with the devil long ago. That's why he keeps winning.
I asked an Auburn fan that said that same question. He's like, "Listen, I have tickets tomorrow, like 10 rows up, and I would gladly sit through a 40-point loss if it means that Nick Saban is 0-2 against Louisiana Monroe."
Do
It
you
can
see,
happen.
hey, Chris? Do you see any big upsets tomorrow? You got any on your docket up there?
Not really. Not really. A lot of people are buying into Tech plus 16.5, which I don't understand. Like usually, anytime you look at like where the public money is like an overwhelming amount of, that's probably where it's going to be. The only one that really I can't figure out is Mississippi State and LSU. I know Mike has Mississippi State blowing them out, which kind of makes I feel like that makes sense. But I'm just being like bamboozled by Death Valley at night.
Yeah.
And they're underdogs too, so I mean that would be an upset. They haven't lost back-to-back games to Mississippi State and Baton Rouge since 30 years. So
Brian Kelly has never won a night game in Death Valley. That's a true stat right there.
he's never won a conference opener either. So
Boom.
yeah, no, he also I think actually one of
He's
the
never
seasons-
texted me either. I mean,
13-5
never beat me in a mile run. Now that I think about it.
That's good. That's good, Cousin James. Yeah, I don't know, man. What about you?
Big upset. I kind of hinted at the Florida one. Like that would be a big upset.
Against South Florida?
You know, huh?
Against South Florida?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking upsets. No, it'd be a miracle, but that's the one that that track game kind of scares me a little bit for them. And you know, how do they bounce back from that tough loss against Kentucky? Do they overlook this team for Tennessee? And not saying they're going to. It's called an upset for a reason. But that's if I were to pick one, that's the one. Maybe I'm looking at that one. Or yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that one.
No,
For me, the biggest
that'd be
upset,
crazy.
Auburn winning. Because to me, that would be a huge upset.
Oh yeah. But is it? I mean, what is it? 3 points?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not. That should be almost a pick.
Hey,
I know
look,
Chris is a big Auburn guy. Why? I saw you on a Spaces like a week ago with some girl. She sounded way intoxicated, and she was basically guaranteeing that Auburn was going to blow them out. I don't understand what these people are seeing.
I did see you in that space for roughly 7 seconds, and I felt ashamed. And I was hoping that
Well, I had to leave after that. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
They were just commiserating that San Jose State game. No, I mean, like I first off, Auburn Twitter is hilarious. It's like a docile, less aggressive Georgia Twitter. It doesn't hurt your feelings. So, but like them at home, like I'm not even saying this is a joke, but like I don't know if September is too early for Auburn Jesus to show up, but being a home underdog, especially with James Franklin, because like he does not do well in that spot. Like I think they're like 4-9 in games where they're like a touchdown or less favorite on the road, and but like also I just Auburn might not be good, just flat out, just might not be good.
I
Yeah.
don't think they are.
Yeah, that quarterback group. I mean, if you're Zach Calzada, like what is going through your mind right now after you watched A&M lose to App State, and then you had two QBs? Like, did one of them have a QBR of like one of 2 for 1 yard? That was a full stat line.
Do you still have nightmares of Zach Calzada going up and down Alabama's defense?
No, I've actually been working with my therapist a lot of this. I've manifested this into wet dreams where I picture him getting hurt and not coming back onto the field in the last 3 minutes. So,
I got you.
that's
I
just
got you.
growth, Mike.
But I guess he wasn't the problem anymore in A&M. We can't say that. Kenley.
No, I mean Jimbo's obviously the problem. The Max Johnson thing would be kind of interesting, but man, I don't think they're going to lose tomorrow just because of being at home in Kyle Field and Miami's not great in that spot. But God, it'd be hilarious.
I think everyone's just overreacting to A&M looking like shit. If they play up to their standard, they should beat the hell out of Miami.
Well, what's their standard? Their standard's 8-4.
Well, they're 7 away from that. The non-conference has got to be a gimme. It's where in conference play is where they suck. They only won 2 SEC West games last year, and one of them was Alabama. That's like the most bizarro stat in the universe.
Yeah, I mean they really like the talent is there obviously, but like my co-host of the podcast, he's a Florida State alum and just an absolute.
You have a podcast?
I do, yeah.
You're such an asshole.
It's called the other SEC podcast. So we got like 7
The slightly better SEC podcast.
Yeah. Slightly below average, bad SEC podcast. It's just people that don't know how to spell things on their computer. That's the only people we get.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think they're gonna like. I don't know if we're overreacting, but Jimbo does this a lot. Like this is kind of like what his whole track record is once he gets like a Jameis.
Did anybody read that? Brent Zerman, I think he's one of the best out there. He's the one that broke, Oklahoma and Texas coming to the SEC. He wrote a story last night. It was kind of damning. It basically said the culture is a huge problem down there in A&M. The players are saying it. You see players getting arrested. You saw the video of the guy going, flying through the parking lot, and there's just no repercussions. And one little thing maybe is not a big deal, but when you start to see all these things add up, and you're seeing Anaya Smith saying the standard is not being met, I mean, it's cause for concern because I don't want to say this is going to be a dumpster fire, but it kind of sounds like what was happening at Florida State before he jumped ship.
Imagine that. I can't wait to see what he does to that offensive line then. Also, I will say, like, just coming from, like, if you're a Bama fan or, like, a 90s Tennessee fan or Georgia fan, you start getting players arrested in the offseason. That's when you know you're going to have a good team.
Yeah. How you guys?
I'll leave on that note, guys. Always good talking to you. Y'all have a great night.
You too, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. And his podcast, everybody go check it out. College Football Uncensored.
Yeah, it's good.
I've been on there and they've censored me though. I think let's get Justin in here.
What's going on,
He's in here
guys?
every week. Hey, what up,
There
Justin?
he
What's happening with you guys? How you doing?
Fired up some football,
Well,
man.
first off, you guys were talking about upsets in Florida and USF. That's not going to happen because guess you guys forgot that Chad Morris is down there and he ain't winning against the SEC team, so you can kill that.
Wait, is he really?
Yes, he is.
Oh damn! I should have done more research.
Yes, he is. That's dead action right there. But in Texas A&M, man, just what's even worse about the loss is the time of possession that happened with them. I mean, Appalachian State just kept the ball away from them in the third and fourth quarters. I mean, they just couldn't do anything, not a damn thing. What are you going to do?
I think that's the most concerning thing. I mean, it's not like there was no luck. It was not a bunch of turnovers. They just got out physical. They got outmanned, and that was on their home field to a roster that Jimbo would not take a damn one of those players. I don't care what he says over anybody he's got on his roster.
Not at all. And those kids, and I saw the demeanor of those kids on the field, and I said it in the spring. They're young. They don't know how to take this. We're getting talked about so big. We're the number 16 in the country. We're supposed to be going to the playoffs, and now all of a sudden you're getting bullied by this team that you're not supposed to be getting bullied by. A&M is not. They're too young this year. It's nothing for them.
Right.
I just don't believe it.
And I think college football would be better off. I know this will never happen, but I think it'd be better off if we didn't have preseason polls. I don't think anybody should be ranked till a couple games in because I think the early season rankings skew a lot of things. But of course, if we did that, we wouldn't have number 6 going down to Appalachian. As big of a deal. So I understand why it's there. I hate it. I don't even I honor the rankings, but not really. I think they're pretty damn dumb.
Right. Now, I have a question for you guys, and we've seen it with Mississippi State, and I'm high up on them. You know that I like him. I like the quarterback because he's got experience in the SEC. Do you think when they start getting into the bulk of their SEC play, the fact that they're not really running the ball as much is going to take effect to the games?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, you say they're not running, but I threw this stat out there. They have more rushing touchdowns than Alabama, Kentucky, or A&M right now. So, I mean, they're getting it done, and they don't need to run the ball because they use the short passing game, and their running backs combined for over 100 catches. Those may not be, your typical runs, but that's 100 runs in any other offense.
Right.
They just find different ways to do it. But there's a reason Mike Leach has been so successful for going on 20 years now. It's because his system works.
Right.
And no, I mean, they're not going to throw for 1,000 yards every game, but they're going to have a ton of success, I think, week in and week out in the SEC.
I can dig that. I just wanted to see what you thought about them, using their passing game more than the running. And
right. Now, see, where they're going to get into trouble is facing someone like Arkansas that can just jam it down their throat and limit possessions. That is a recipe that'll really hurt Mississippi State. And that's a big reason why I don't think LSU can play with them, because LSU can't run the ball. And Mississippi State is one of a handful of teams in the SEC you do not want to get in a shootout with. And I think that's the only way LSU is going to be approaching this game. And I think it's the wrong method.
Exactly. Well, I got to get out here, guys. I just wanted to holler at you real quick. And, hey, everybody that's listening now, if you're new to this and you're new to the show, if you're new to this, these guys, they know everything about the SEC. I've been listening to them for a long time. I remember when Mike didn't have any pictures on his wall in the YouTube video. So, trust me, this is where you need to be. And hey, guys, I'm getting my car painted soon. I'll have you guys a sticker on there as a sponsor for me.
Man.
You guys.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate
you, Justin.
No problem. Have a great one.
You too. And yes, we did pay him to say all that. But, hey, Shane, I think that's a great place to end it. I mean, it's not going to get any better than that. Anybody that missed it, we repost these. So this will go on the podcast feed. This will go back on YouTube as soon as we can get it up. It just takes a little while to do it. But you got anything else before we hop off the line, buddy?
No, always fun. I mean, seriously, this is the highlight of my week, is getting on here and hanging out with you guys, talk a little college football. Now we get up early and get our tailgate on and watch all our bets go bad.
Yeah, the only problems I have, Shane, college football season is Friday night trying to catch some sleep, because I just get so excited.
It's like Christmas Eve when you're a kid, Unless you're a South Carolina fan, then it's like you got a big test tomorrow,
Well, buddy, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody showing up. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see you guys. Go Vols.